Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to full council today, 19th of September. Nice to see you all. Nice to see so many members of the public here, and thank you for coming. Quite a lot on the agenda tonight, so we'll get straight into it, and then we will receive our apologies for absence.
Apologies for Councillor Mitchell.
Thank you. Our next item is to receive the minutes from full council, 15th of August 2024, and be confirmed as a correct record. Have we all had time to read those minutes? Does anybody have anything they'd like to say about them? May I have a proposal?
I move.
Seconder, thank you. Gary and Jean. All in favour? I think. So I'll just talk amongst yourself for a second, please. Our next item on the agenda is Mayor's announcements. Item 3, you have the announcements in front of you. As you can see, it's been quite a nice, busy August and beginning of September. I had some particularly nice things, in particular with the Health and Wellbeing Day. It's the first time we did it. I was ever so thankful for our Brightsea Town Council staff, Julie and Tracy, who donated their free time to put it together, along with some councillors that helped to do the raffle and sell the raffle and to feed our surgeons with very healthy bacon sandwiches. The day went down well. We've learnt a lot from it, and it could be, watch this space, that we do it again in the weekend. It was most enjoyable. Thank you very much for coming. The Merchant Navy Day in Malden was also pretty good, only because I'm a merchantman, as was the PwC meeting in St. Ramsey. But it has been quite busy. Thanks very much. Item 4 is declaration of disclosable pecuniary interests. Members are reminded of the requirement to disclose any interest in relation to items on the agenda when these are discussed. Thank you. Item 5, we'll take the update from County Councillor Goggin. Alan, we've got a chair next to Michael's Snoopy King, which you'll be pleased to know we just moved.
Well, I'm not quite sure I can sit next to these naked legs.
They're naked, they're brown.
They're naked.
And I've got my pressure stockings on. It's not your right side.
Oh.
I always wear my stockings for council.
I think should we ignore that?
Fire away, Alan.
Thank you very much, Lee. Thanks thanks again for moving me up the agenda, because that allows me to get to St Moses on time to spend roughly an hour with them, so thanks very much indeed. A fairly busy month. I will echo on there my bullet point number 2. I thought the health and wellbeing event, which you said it was first class, really excellent. It competed with some other things that were going on at the same time, so it was. But I thought it was a very good initiative. I've never seen one anywhere else before. Congratulations to the team, the staff for it, and to you, John, because it was your baby you pushed it through. Well,
Thank you.
we've had a busy month. On the roads, just for a change. So this month, through to fruition, on my bullet point number 3, we've had some works completed on the potholes outside the Colne School, a couple of potholes in Manor House Way, a bit of a tidy up at Folcards, a nice fix at Hall Cut, Christmas Tree House, the bollard that was down is up, and the drains are done, and two footbridges were done on PROW 5. Still plenty to go, still plenty to do, but a good start. I had a meeting with the Gene Howard's committee. Thank you, Gene, for inviting me. I think I'll leave that to you to report on. There was, however, one major issue which brought us all to our attention. It was a matter of insurance. And the good news is that if the Town Council want to get involved with Essex County Council in some aspect or some part of the options that are available, provided there's a criteria followed and everything else, then the insurance will be picked up by Essex County Council. That's a real plus, because it means it won't be. But it did highlight, and it was made very clear, that the current arrangements, nobody's insured. So it was forcibly brought home that the option from Essex County Council should be considered with that sort of thing in mind. I'm getting a reputation with the old people. I'm pleased to say about blue badges. I seem to be the expert on blue badges, so I've got a couple there. Merchant Navy Day, once again, John, down to you. Well done, I thought that was excellent. My famous B1027 project has at last started, and you've driven to Clapton, you will have seen 2 bus stations at Flag Hill. That's designed as part of I think I mentioned it before, the 200 odd changes to the B1027 from Alresford through to St Moses. And the sole purpose is to suppress the overall speed and therefore make it, if possible, it's got to be a safer road. So it was impossible to change the whole thing to one uniform speed. It's impossible to. So we've picked engineers have picked bits and pieces along the way. So there are places where there are stops and there are slows. So that's in theory, if everything goes to plan, that will be hopefully finished by February. So that's a good thing. I had a resident complain about a road accident in Brightlingsea and a pothole. For the first time ever, I've never been so pleased to see a sign that said private road, Brightlingsea Town Council. So, and I've reported that back to the office, so that's good. I still remain with this money for community grants, which if any of you have a project that you think is worthy, it's quite strict because it is government money, so it tends to be things about children, particularly with special needs, and it tends to be particularly about anything that's levelling up. So in that respect, that's a good thing. I'm a bit ill prepared for this, to be blunt, but at 4:30 I was at Chelmsford today, and somebody brought in to me a thing from the local Colchester Gazette about potholes in Brightlingsea. On the report there was a statement that said Essex County Council was contracted for a comment but did not respond at the time of going to press. Tomorrow they'll print an apology because that was not the case. There was a response given, and I'll read it to you. It was very brief. It was along the lines of see those legs.
Yeah, we don't want to put trousers on it, I don't wear legs all night then.
We've got a soft coming.
Compression socks are really tough.
Yeah. I'll stop. My apologies about being so clumsy. So the statement from Essex County Council came out and said, statement for the Essex Highway said, the most effective way for people to report road defects is through the online TELUS tool at www. In order to maximise limited resources, we have to address the most urgent issues first. However, all defects reported to us are assessed by the inspector. Information about how we prioritise high-risk issues can be found at so-and-so, so-and-so, so-and-so. So the newspaper will be printing an apology tomorrow that they didn't include that reply. And Mr. Chairman, I think that is 2019. Our bullet point number 5, going to extra update. I've attended a couple of updates. We've, along with many other county councils, Essex has got some money from central government for road repairs and bits and pieces. We've got £12 million. And we were told, been told for ages how it envisaged it would be spent. So if you imagine, Highways has a budget vastly exceeding £12 million to deal with things, and at the moment we're struggling. There's more road issues than there are people to do it. So there's an extra £12 million coming in. This is coming in the form of 9 new vehicles and people for a year, and they are tending to be doing what I call the smaller issues. They won't put in a zebra crossing, they won't put bollards up, but there might be some repairs and they'll do some other bits and pieces. There's 9 of those. We get them roughly every 8 weeks. Sorry, I get them for a week, every 8 weeks. And then there are a couple of specialist ones that do. So, for instance, there's a team that does curbs, and that isn't necessarily the same team that does the pavements. So it sometimes looks a bit awkward, but it's designed to be more efficient. I think, Mr. Chairman, that's me.
Thank you, Alan. So what we're going to do now, because Alan disappears and he's off to St Joseph and his other responsible parishes then, we're going to open up questions from councillors first, and after that any questions from members of the public. Michael.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Belfield Avenue, Alan,
Yes?
it's worse than that in the Severgreen.
Yeah.
Any idea when it's likely to be done? It's been an awful long time.
It is. I was in touch with 3 residents last week. They said the same thing. It is scheduled for this financial year. However, the numbers are monstrous. Absolutely monstrous. You and I were miles out. Miles and miles and
Well,
miles.
I said about £1 million.
Oh, well, you were out there.
Is that too much or too little?
That's too much. But what it's up to is virtually the whole budget for the whole democracy for 1 year. So it's at a discussion stage, obviously.
Thank
Still
you.
one for a year or something.
Councillor Payne.
I'm sure you're aware that the government is now putting a paper out about increasing housing allocations around the different district councils.
Right.
And the numbers in tendering are yet to be satisfied, but they are significantly more than they were going to be.
Yeah.
And I just wondered if, from the perspective of the county, are they seeing any extra allocations for transport and roads to actually cover this growth in the housing?
That's a crackingly good question. If you imagine, it will affect you at Barking, it will affect colleagues at Tendring, and it will affect Essex County Council. And of course it then kicks on to things that Essex County Council are responsible for, so, which are the big thing is education. So every school around here is at the start of a 10-year rolling contract, 10-year rolling plan. And then, so they're trying to spot how many people are going to be here. So in theory, with an influx of houses, there are 2 things that happen. One is there are some, it's called, loosely called Section 106. The developers will pay monies to the county council, to the district council, and to the town council to get things done in preparation for the extra people. Extra people means extra pressure on the doctors, extra pressure on the dentists. In theory, the rates that the extra houses are paying should be extra income to all of the individuals concerned. But there are massive amount of houses going to be built, and they're going to be forced. And I'm fairly confident you've got a local plan. I'm sure you've got a local plan. And local plan is your way of making sure that you get your fair share. I'm only saying in passing, if you're talking about the planning of where they go, that of course is a tendering issue. But you're quite right, the number of houses is central government led.
But so, I mean, section one, we're all aware of section 136 and one for roads and 106 for other things. But we need and then rates go up, but you need the roads in place to build the houses and infrastructure. And the infrastructure. So are you seeing any input from the government as to how they're going to fund that?
Yes, specifically, I've been looking at some of the bigger issues. The bigger issues don't tend to be overlooked. So I went to a meeting the other day about, you must have done it at tendering, about the new village market, the Elmsted market. And in terms of infrastructure, I'll give you a good example. I don't have a super answer, but as a good example, for all the houses that are going here, they're building 4 more schools. Now, I had no idea about that, to be blunt.
Alan, we've got Councillor Barry who'd like to come in, and then after that, Councillor Chapman.
So that's an example of the planning for the future.
Yeah, I'll just sort of add to what Alan said about any infrastructure changes, and I think the numbers that we've had briefed are quite significant in that at the moment Tenrin has to build 550 homes per annum, and that's in our current district rural plan. The new government guideline, it's not guidelines, it's a mandate, you have to do it, is to build 1,043, so it's doubling the amount that has to be built. And for instance, when in terms of infrastructure, a development has to be of the magnitude of 1,400 to 1,500 homes to trigger a new school.
Just can I 14 up, so 1,400
houses
Nothing
in one place would trigger the investment in a new school from the government. I don't think there's any formula for roads or dentists or doctors. I think that they're all down to different stakeholders like the NHS and the highways panel and so on. But it's a massive project, and it's going to take 10 years. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. It will, anything of this magnitude takes 2 terms of Parliament to produce. So it's there, and it's going to be mandatory for this district to build those houses.
Just to confirm, there's 1,043 houses per year, starting in 26?
We're having, at the moment, the current plan is due to finish 2026, and they're actually in the process of revising and drawing up the new plan, and they were told to stop that. You've actually got to have a new plan, and so I think it's December 2026 was the cut-off for the current plan, but they've now got to revise everything and come up with a formula fairly quickly for next year for the new housing proposals, and we hope, I hope personally that there's going to be a lot more emphasis on proper affordable homes to rent or to be available for residents who are currently in high price rental accommodation or in temporary accommodation, so that we can get have a reasonable result from what may well be encroachment onto green belt, whatever belt you want to call it, land that's currently not being built on. And I don't think Brighton Sea will be immune from this.
So there's obviously quite a lot of information forthcoming. I think we're in the early stages. Councillor Chapman, I think would like to say something, and Councillor Howard. You say
given most of my bit, other than, as tendering has stated, they actually don't have much brownfield land left. It was taken up in the 1990s when they had to build, and nor does Tendring have a lot of greenbelt land to build on. So to get big developments, which is what you need to trigger the infrastructure, it's not going to happen because it's all little parcels of land. And as you know, Tendring are very open and said they've got some parcels of land, but there's no infrastructure in place for any of it. So it's frightening, and I know, as Mick will tell you, the officers are really worried. And if you don't fulfil that 1043, your next door neighbours have got to take it as well as their own. It's no case of, you know, forget it, we can't find any room. Somebody has got to take your numbers.
Much thought there. I think
Can I just come back quickly on this, sorry, because I think it's really important to say to the public, I think this is vital, therefore, that the public gets more involved in the neighbourhood plan, because it will be the neighbourhood plan that will become under pressure to allocate areas for housing.
That's a very sensible statement. Yeah, plan, please.
It's just one last quick. It was only
Yes,
Nick
yes.
really just answered it. It was only to say the 1,400, is that per town? Like, would they expect us,
It's the whole
or is it the
Tendring.
whole of Tendring?
All of 10,000.
They're not expecting each.
No, I think
Okay.
seems that more majority of it is looking around the Harwich area.
Yeah.
And,
Thank you.
Brighton said could get up to 300, but Brighton said could.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
Does any other councillor, Brighton's town councillor, wish to grill our county councillor?
I think it's worth that being minuted,
Yes.
that the allocation to Brighton is likely to be 300.
300.
Yes. But we do, we will, I think we'll be getting updated news from our
No.
Get it, it's updated.
as and when they get it, we will get it. Any other councillor wish to?
No, but I've just got something I'd like to pass to Alan.
Okay, thank you.
He can,
Perhaps you pass it through the council.
yeah, just deal with it when he's got
Thank you.
5 minutes.
Members of the public, Alan will shortly be.
Have you run out already?
Members of the public, Alan will shortly be hot-footing it. Your county council will shortly be hot-footing it across to St Isaac to talk about all sorts of things over there. Would you have any questions for our county councillor? I think we'll go. I don't know who we had it up first there, Dave. Richard or Dave? Richard, should we go first?
Yeah, Richard Price.
Dave's the time.
Yeah, can you tell me, I mean, you say that devolution possibly can be back on the agenda. Will you keep us informed as that goes on? You put that
Absolutely, because did I answer
Yes,
this?
go for it.
Not an in you may, knowing you would have followed this. The devolution system was a bit of a bartering situation. Around here, Suffolk and Norfolk agreed the deal, and they were going to go forward with devolution with a mayor and everything else. Essex County Council, we said no. The reason we said no is that there wasn't enough money on offer. We didn't think that there was sufficient money to want us to take on the extra risk, or want you to take on the extra risk. In a complete about turn since the election, the central government have stopped Suffolk and Norfolk from going ahead because they said their plans weren't ambitious enough. They're not ambitious enough, they weren't big enough,
No,
they didn't.
no.
And rather strangely, they've come back to us and said, your plans were ambitious, you just wanted more money than we were prepared to give the central government. And we've renegotiated, we're renegotiating. So
again, more news forthcoming.
yeah, does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense, Alan, I can tell it, yeah.
And of course, a lot of it is all area. There's meetings at Downing Street and stuff with the new government, etc.
David.
Yes, David Stone. Alan, regards the article in the Gazette about potholes, can we have your comments, please?
This is an article that I certainly haven't seen. So I don't know if many councillors have seen it actually.
I don't know.
Yeah, okay.
In brief.
Okay. Well, first of all, the Freedom of Information Act, etc., is a good thing. I welcome freedom of information. And I also welcome initiatives from individuals. I prefer if the initiatives come via the council to start off with. But we've got a councillor that's saying he's going to plan the town and show.
I think what I think we're in danger of creating a debate where the majority of councillors are not having had sight of this
I've
article.
not even seen it.
And it seems that even Councillor Court hasn't seen it. So I think what we'll do is we'll allow ourselves
Can you just give me a chance to answer the question?
Yes, but the councillors must have sight of this because has any councillor seen this?
No.
So that's all right. I'll find out. You don't have the Gazette?
No.
Okay, well it's there. Okay.
Oh, I bought the Clacton Gazette
Yeah.
because that's who phoned me up to talk about it. So and it's not in the Clacton Gazette. So it's in the Colchester Gazette.
Wow, we just sat here and don't know what's going on.
Do you want me to explain what
Why
happened?
does
Because I'm not planning anything.
Let Councillor Court explain. Very interesting. And then we can just spend.
I've answered the question.
Yes.
I've read the article.
Yes, Mr.
So I've
Connery,
answered an answer.
but we're in danger of confusion at the table here.
Why don't I bring it to a little bit, because you've got a busy night ahead. So what we're going to have is a survey of the town, because statements we've made are on the social media that there are 1,300 outstanding road and pavement faults in the town. That's huge.
Yeah.
My opinion is that's incorrect.
I don't think so.
Hang on, because and the reason is, and there's a simple reason, and it follows my report already. And I'll give you a simple, straightforward example. The statement is 1,300 outstanding pavement faults. Those of you that will remember what I call Christmas Tree House, there's a bollard outside there that's been down for yonks. Now that's been repaired. And I'm picking on it because it's a one-off thing. It's been repaired, so there's one job repaired. But there were 9 reports on the same set of bollards. So it's and that's the same with I haven't had one pothole or light done. We're encouraging people to report them. They're reporting them. So I believe that statement is incorrect because I think there are 1,300 outstanding reports. Because every single one that I've looked at picks up at least 2, sometimes 3, and I had one at Thorrington the other day where you and I drove past that had 11 reports on that one. So there's only one drain. There's only one drain that was fixed, but it had 11 reports. So if you looked on the map, you'd say, bloody hell, that place in Thorrington, there's 11 things gone wrong. There weren't 11 things gone wrong. There was one. And 2 of them were on different sides of the road. And it was the same drain. So I'm welcoming this because I believe it will come out that the 1,300 outstanding reports might well be, and it's still a big number, there might be 600 or 500 or some other number. I don't know, because one thing I can tell you that Essex is absolutely crap at, is taking things off the system.
Okay. So
Well, at least it'll go down quickly then.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Reports on one, you're going to look like you're doing a great job, aren't you?
Absolutely.
There we are then, hopefully we can go down quicker.
Stop. Okay. As always, there's always 2 sides to the story. Mr. Stone, thanks very much for bringing up the question. The other side of the story, Councillor Court would like to give a brief statement on the other side of the story, and then we will draw it to a conclusion.
I'm not going to take it all on, but just on that 1,300 number, I didn't make it up. I did a Freedom of Information request specifically asking for the outstanding faults in the parish of Brightlingsea, and their answer to me was 1,300, I can send you the spreadsheet. In fact, I've printed one out if you've got your glasses on. It's a bit small. So, you know, it's not my fault if the numbers I'm given by Essex Highways are wrong. And I'm not planning anything. It is important that you understand what I'm trying to do on this. I'm not trying to plan Brightlingsea. All I'm doing is I'm using this particular app. I'm using a particular app which uses AI to scan a road and then grade it from good health to poor health. And I'm going around and scanning every single road in Brightlingsea just to build a picture, a pictorial, evidential picture as to the road health in Brightlingsea. So I'm not trying to plan anything, I'm trying to scan it. And if you can help if you want.
Thanks very much, Matt. So quite often in these things, when you have an initiative like this, it's quite nice to talk over a cup of tea. Okay. So thanks very much, Mr. Stone, for bringing that question. It was a very valid question, a topical question. We've heard from Alan, we've heard from Matt, from the two sides of the thing, and I'm sure that on any of the next clinics that either Alan has or Matt has, they may even want to be together on a clinic on this, so that the public can come in and grill them themselves. Thank you very much. May I ask, does any other member of the public have any more questions for Alan?
Yeah, just one quick
Oh,
one.
yes.
The keep left signs that are supposed to be keep left outside the museum. I brought this up 8 or 9 months ago. It's still not been done.
You've got information on it.
Lucky you're not running the bar.
I used to like you.
I'm so glad you said that. Now that was a simple keep left.
He's trying to stall a question.
No comments from the rear. Stick to the comment centre.
Sorry about that, Michael. It's got short on.
It's a cracking question before the tide goes in.
Yeah, but there's cars constantly coming around there. They're going over the top. There's going to be a serious accident down there soon.
At the
I
moment,
mentioned this 9 months ago.
it's longer than that, to be honest, because when it first happened, the pole got knocked down, and I remember it being in the gardens for at least a year, so it's probably 2 years to be blunt. At the moment, there's a bit of a hold because the town council are doing a survey of, I think you're calling it pinch points all around the town, including that. So what do we do with that? And one of the things that I think is in discussion is a zebra crossing. So the problem you've got is at the moment
they're not there. That just means the inside to pull up.
Oh, I thought it said zebra crossing.
Well, yes, that's another separate issue.
Oh, but what I meant is no one's going to repair that while there's the discussion about a zebra crossing.
They just took it up altogether.
I'm not so sure we've got to the zebra
Well,
crossing.
can we put that on the next Sunday?
Sorry?
A pothole and have a sign on it.
Hang on, Terry, hang on. So I think what we'll do is we'll check, thanks for the question, we'll check with our reporting officer, Julie, to see how that's doing, and we'll perhaps ask her to escalate it, ask County Council to escalate it so that it gets done. Yes, you can. But just before you do, the normal procedure here on Brightlingsea for reporting things is through this office or through the County Council website. It's sometimes easier for residents to come in, pop in and see Julie and report it, because Julie is infinitely wise on what has been reported before, and she could perhaps be able to turn around and say, well, actually, I've got 10 other reports on this, I will do another one. That might be where the confusion is. So what we'll do, that's a question to County Councillor Rowley, but we'll take it on as a Brightlingsea question and try and bring an answer back to you in the October.
Thank you very much.
Councillor Hammond.
Well, I was really just going to say that.
Okay.
Because that's just, well,
That's
I
good.
will say it though,
Yep.
that is a case of what Alan's saying about duplicate reports, because that's been reported time and time again. So that could be one of the cases where it's reported 11 or 12 times. So, but really, I agree with you, that concrete lump should be taken up and thrown away somewhere because it's so dangerous.
Okay, so we're now into a debate with the concrete lump, so we'll stop it there. Thank you.
I should bring a smaller file next time.
Alan, there's only one other. There's only one other.
Don't spill it on me.
Don't spill it again. There's only one other thing. Do you have the date of your next clinic, please, in your head?
No, but if I walk over to my diary,
If you could walk over to your diary.
I'll tell you when it traditionally is. It's the Tuesday before the Thursday of the parish meeting.
Okay, so when you get over there, if you could do some hieroglyphics, and we'll put that onto the Brightsea Town Council website so that you can all go up to the library.
I'll tell you exactly.
15th of October, Alan, we found it.
Oh, it's in.
We've already found it for
No,
you.
but that's the Tuesday before council.
So really, it's just a memoir for members of the public to be able to go to the library and request some answers from our county council.
Okay, on this particular occasion, the library's got something on the day I wanted it on. It's Tuesday, the 8th of October.
Tuesday, the 8th of October, members of the public and councillors.
What time, Alan?
3 o'clock.
At
3:30 to 5:30.
Biscuits on County Council. Thanks very much, Alan, for your report. Please send our best wishes to St Roses.
Thank you.
Thank you. We've gone slightly different on our agendas now. Our next item on the agenda, to see if the agenda flows better, is updates from district councillors. The questions that you would be normally asked from this, from district councillors, would be incorporated with the normal questions at the end of the Brightsea business, so you don't get confused. So we'll go for updates from district councillors. We'll start with Councillor McNary.
Well, just really to say that the full council meeting on Tuesday was a very lively affair, and I encourage people to, if they fancy light entertainment, they can watch it on YouTube and hear the debate that was initiated by the 4 reform councillors. Got quite unsavoury at times. Just to say that the Swan activity strategy that you might know have been working on for about a year is due to go to Cabinet in the morning, and I've presented that for adoption. It will be out in print. I would say it's a very good read, but you can make your own mind up. And it will hopefully lead to a lot of improvements for residents across the district in terms of access to activity and leisure facilities. So that's about me.
Thanks, mate. Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Chapman.
Nothing to add.
So, no.
Just asking how we get
I'm
on
sorry,
with it.
Councillor. We deal with these questions afterwards. Is that coming off?
After what?
After we've listed all of the district councillors.
What, not each?
Members of the public will have a briefing paper in your packs from the district councillors. So you've seen Councillor Chapman's. Councillor Stenley.
Yeah, thank you. I've actually put a copy of the motion which came up at Cambridge District Council, and as Councillor Barry did, it's quite enlightening at times. There's certain things I've taken part in, and as you will see, there's a couple of different things there, opportunities highlighted. I've put in some suggestions there, and also economy of scale as well, which is another suggestion. I must admit, some of it did cause a sharp intake of breath by TDC officers, but they never actually said no. So, just moving on to the meeting with the TDC corporate director. That has now been put back to the 30th of September due to the lag on his diary. I've put the items to be discussed in there. The information which we'll be bringing forward exactly to endorse your comments about Julie's reports. We're going to present her reports on recycling issues since April, and also we've done some photos of the bins which have been overflowing and where they are. And also the Essex Waste Strategy is going to be adopted by tendering district council tomorrow. That's on the agenda for the cabinet, so it's quite a weighty document. It's well worth reading because obviously that will have an effect on tendering as well. A beach and coastal clear up is going to be publicised. That's starting on Sunday. We were going to take part in that, but there's been a bit of a glitch with staff, so we're going to put that back. But the benefit of that is the new portfolio holder for the environment will actually attend that, so we'll be able to take him around the town and just to highlight the problems we've had and also the discussions which we've had with the officers. And also first, at that meeting, the manager of the Viola depot at Clacton will be attending, I think.
When is that?
That's the 30th. Oh, sorry, no.
Thanks very much, Councillor Steady. Okay, it's an opportunity now for Brian Hinckley councillors to grill our district councillors. Councillor Moore.
No, actually, I think maybe actually answered these. I wanted to know how does that leaflet?
The strategy will be published on the website. Yeah.
Okay.
Councillor Howard, I think you were next.
Yeah, Graham, just wanted, I know your meeting's not till tomorrow with Jamie Williams, is it?
No, it's going to be back to the 30th.
Oh, right, okay. I know, will you talk about fly tipping on that? Because I know it's not on there, is it?
No, really I'll put that under the recycling.
Yeah.
The recycling.
So it will be.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Kerry, were you next? Well, whilst we're talking, whilst our gaze is directed towards you, Kirsty, first of all, may we congratulate you on the initiative that you've taken on in going down to some of these recycling centres with your marigolds, obviously, for due health and safety and helping to clear up, including that on the graffiti and recycling. This is where town council really works, when you've got a councillor that puts herself or himself forward and just gets out the marigolds and goes through it. Thanks very much, and we'll minute that. Any other councillor wish to ask our district councillors anything? Phew. I'm just looking at the clock, it's 20 to 8 already. Thank you very much indeed, district councillors. Item 7 on the agenda are the teams reports. For the members of the public that aren't too certain what these are, we have teams that deal with some of the assets and liabilities, the facilities, the environment, welfare of residents, and the communications and tourism. So we're going to kick off with your report that you have in your packs for the facilities, which the applicant on that is the FCA. The report is with you. I don't know, Rick, if you, Councillor Morgan, if you'd like to put out something on that.
Not particularly, but except to say it was great to see 10 councillors actually attend that meeting. It was 2.5 hours, which is what we got through a lot of
Yes, it was long.
but however, it's a very important team meeting. So there are 3 recommendations, and hopefully council will agree.
Okay, thanks very much. So we'll be doing the en bloc for the recommendations for all of them.
No, each two.
Oh, each two, sorry. Okay, so we are not going to do that. So you've all read in your packs. May I have a proposal and a seconder for the minutes and recommendations contained within the FCA? Councillor Bailey, and a seconder, Councillor Chapman. All in favour? I thank you. Our next team's reports is the Environment and Transport, which is chaired by Councillor Howard. Again, you have that report in your packs. Councillor Howard, is there anything there you'd like to tease out?
Yes, please. I'd like to highlight, because Councillor Mitchell couldn't be here tonight, I'm doing this for her, Kate Mitchell. She's been doing a lot of thing about helping with hedgehogs. The death rate of hedgehogs is terrible, and they really, we're worried about them getting extinct. Anyway, she's done this thing where you put signs up to say where hedgehogs are going to be, their environment and where they're going to be. And she's been speaking to the Highways Liaison Officer, who's had, I'm reading this is her notes, he's had pleasure in notifying her that the hedgehog signs have been given a green light once we've gained clearance from the parish council, which I'd like to do tonight, which will be on block, I expect. The next step is to get agreement from full council, which that's for tonight, and then pass to Aaron Goggin and back to Essex. The proposed sites are Church Road, Ladysmith Avenue and Chapel Road. These sites have been proposed in line with data showing population of roadkill, casualties, habitat, and the sites proposed will utilise current lighting on signposts. So costs will be minimal and no cost to this council. So I'd like that agreed tonight for her, so she can go ahead with that. Also, we had a meeting yesterday with Shirley Angling, that was councillors and Terry de Gansman, Shirley Angling and Nicky Coleman of Essex County Council. Shirley's the lead officer for Public Rights of Way, abbreviated to PROW, and we met to discuss options on trimming and cutting, etc. about the town. And this will be put on the agenda of the next ENT meeting for discussion.
Thanks very much, Councillor. And that was a very worthwhile meeting this morning, and it was good. It was really good. Okay, you've got that information. May I have a recommended?
I was going to ask a question.
Oh, yeah, a question.
Only in regard, I was quite interested to see the members agree to support Mill Street becoming a quiet lane. I thought we discussed this at council many times, and I thought I didn't think that was the point. I don't think council agreed with that.
I think
This is new.
that is true. It has been discussed before, and I think we just didn't get any further with it. But there are two three councillors on the ENT now that would like to carry and try again with it. We've gathered some more information because I think Alresford have just managed to get a quiet lane, and so we're going to try and contact them, see what happens.
Yeah, because there was
So we're just going ahead with it then.
I think any lobbying for any
Yeah.
subject
Yeah.
is good. Doesn't matter, even the hedgerows.
On the quiet lane, I think Essex County Council are likely to refer you to the speed and traffic study that was done, which proved pretty much that it always is a quiet lane.
I'm sure they will, but I
Without
think
signing for us.
we ought to allow.
Another sign.
Okay.
I think we felt there was just no harm in trying again.
Yeah. No. And there's different ways. You've read that in your packs. May I have a proposer? And a seconder. These are for the information and all of the recommendations, which includes the addition of Councillor Mitchell's recommendations. In favour? Any against? Sold. Thank you very much indeed, Councillor Howard. Next, Team's report is a welfare and residence services, which is the Cable Hounds and Council Camp.
Just really to say that when we met with Greg Cooper, who is the partnership coordinator for St Helena Hospice, we're going to look at Brightonsea becoming a community champion council. And what they're looking for is people to support the palliative care, people who are at home basically. So there will be a meeting with all the organisations. We could become the first community champion council, the same as we are the only dementia-friendly council qualified. So we're going to try and push that through as well.
Good, thanks very much. Our final Team's reports are communications and tourism, which I think will have to be under you, Councillor Peggy.
Since I'm the chairman.
Since you're the chairman.
Nothing to add to the minutes other than to say that as I think everybody knows, there's a Brightonsea promo video that's been made by Stephen Johnson, and we saw it, and very good it is as well. And I think it needs a bit of tuning, so we'll hopefully have a conversation with him about those little bits of tuning to be done, and maybe it will be available for the next town meeting.
Yes, I think we're talking to him now to see if we can screen it for
I think you'll presumably get Aaron
Absolutely, yeah. It'll come to councillors first.
Right, okay. And I think the rest of it as per written, although I've reminded you, Mr Chairman, of your acronym in there, which I think you should remind yourself.
I will remind myself, and I will also remind all the chairs of the other teams, please, just to give a few lines to the communications about their operation and what they do. And I will remind myself.
Thank you. I think it's just useful that we're in front of the game.
Yeah.
As another council mentioned the other day, it's very good to then have our prepared statement before we're asked about something that we don't have a prepared statement.
Exactly. It's always nice to know beforehand.
Okay.
Councillor Johnson.
Yeah, sorry to go backwards, but I've just been reviewing through my mind the business of the Quiet Lane, and the thing that disturbs me about it is that were that officially declared to be a quiet lane, that would give residents the power to close and apply to the Secretary of State, apply for a road closure.
Well, I think what would be a really good thing is if Councillor Howard invites you to the next CAT meeting, so that you can put these things across on you're on the committee about it. So, there we go. So let's use that as a response. Councillor Smith.
Yeah, just going back to the article, obviously, which mentioned that in the House, did that come through the communications?
No.
No.
Yeah, the councillor article.
Yeah, which was in favour.
No.
No, it was off the back of, they saw it on Facebook.
And
It's my own thing, not my town council thing.
Yeah, but you did put that under Councillor Matt Court, that's the issue, I think.
No, it's not an issue. Because I'm a councillor, I don't represent Brightsea Town Council.
Well, when we done the code of conduct, that certainly wasn't the impression I was given by the officer.
okay, we'll check on that later on.
I'm going on the course.
Yeah, so am I.
And so they're all going.
Yeah, I'm happy to take it.
You can take that to the teacher.
I'll go and buy a copy of the paper. I'll take it in there and I'll say what. I'll show them on the Facebook page. I know some people have issues about Facebook as well. And I'll take it all in there and I'll ask them, say, is this a bit like when I asked them to investigate me before and they said I wasn't doing anything wrong. So
I think the impression I get is that legislation does change.
It does.
It was certainly different than what I've been told.
It does change, so the code of conduct training that which we'll refer to shortly, is different to what the code of conduct training was before.
Yeah.
My view on this publication, I haven't seen it. I don't know anybody that has seen it apart from County Councillor Gog. Oh, you've seen it, okay. Well, we haven't seen it. You would normally expect a reputable publication to go to the county, possibly the district, and yes, the town council for some sort of comment. We didn't get any. There was no representation.
Just as a matter of interest, not knowing this, does this get distributed around Brighton?
Apparently it's for sale in the coal.
Probably available online as well.
Get it online.
the Clacton one is sold more in Brighton Sea than the Colchester one.
Well, okay.
But there's not a Brighton Sea one, is what?
No, there's not a Brighton
That's what I was
Sea
trying to
one.
think.
The closest thing is a Chronicle.
Because I was saying it's another outlet for the common.
No, don't. Okay, thanks very much. Have we voted on the comms?
No.
Have you? Okay. Proposer and seconder, please, for comms. And a seconder. Councillor Steady. All in favour for the recommendations therein. I'll turn myself off for not providing some sound bites. You're on. Item 8 on our agenda is finance, which is a wonderful committee, chaired by Councillor Atkinson. And the item A, first of all, is to receive and approve the minutes of the finance meeting held on the 17th of September 2024 and to confirm, not condemn, confirm the recommendations therein. Councillor.
Okay, well, we had me on the 17th, which is very constructive. We agreed 5 recommendations in total. There's 14 minutes. Firstly, can I ask if anybody's got any comments or amendments to make to those?
Yes, I have. Apologies, I think it was a misunderstanding, but at the end of that meeting there was an AOB I brought up which pertain to following through from the Facilities and Communities Assets team, requiring Councillor Atkinson and myself to start the process of evaluating replacement solicitors by using a particular case. As an example, we're getting quotations and their views on it for us, so we could select another solicitor to carry out our work. I think it's important it's here, then we
can incorporate that into the recommendations.
Sorry.
No, it was an on-agenda item, but well worth noting.
Yeah.
So we're looking for a proposer, Dave, which I assume is yourself. We're looking for a second. Is that okay?
It is, yes.
We're looking for a second, which is Councillor Chapman. All in favour? Sold for. Thanks very much, Councillor Atkinson. Item agenda 8B is to receive and approve the recommendations for those members examining the accounts for the current period, which I understand is in your paper.
So, Councillor Morgan and I have examined the accounts for August 2024 and proposed that the 21 payments in the sum of £9,186.70 be authorised for payment. The statements of the balances of the following accounts be accepted. The current account is £6,254.19. The business premium account is £20,911.82. The business premium account, second account, is £394.72. The instant access account is £82,559.64. The current T2 account is £3,640 dead, making a total of all accounts of £113,760.37. Income for August was £3,239.19, and expenditure for August was £35,428.77. Income to date from April the 1st to 31st of August 2024 was £192,452.38, and expenditure to the date from 1st of April to the 31st of August was £161,081.11. Employees' payments paid for the month of August was £16,659.75.
Thank you very much indeed. Okay, may we have a proposer, which I assume is yourself?
Yeah.
May we have a seconder, Councillor Morgan? All in favour of those payments? Any against? That's carried. Thanks very much indeed. Oh, you're on again. Item 9 on the agenda is planning, which again is Councillor Henry as chair of planning.
Thank you. I don't have anything really to add to the minutes other than to again reiterate that some discussion was had over the local plan, which is the tendering plan, and the numbers allocated in the government document, which is available on the TDC website. And the TDC is actually building their response at the moment, as far as I understand. And the issues come out there, and there was another meeting with some of the planning officials in this office earlier than that gave an explanation of the numbers. So we were aware of the numbers, and 300 seems to be the number for Brightlingsea. And I think, again, to reiterate to everybody in the room, that I think it's important that this neighbourhood plan should be taken up now quite seriously, because we are going to be asked to find out where we're going to put 300 houses in the next. And I'm sure everybody out there has got an opinion about that.
Can you let the public know when the next meeting is? So they can
Sorry, the next meeting?
Next meeting of the neighbourhood plan.
I will publicise that on the web. I'm afraid I don't have it on the web. But I think if anybody wants to get involved, if they come to this office, they can be. Also, one doesn't have to actually get involved directly like that. There will be a number of questionnaires coming out from the neighbourhood plan, which will go to the general public. And I ask the general public to participate in that and obviously get their views held. This is one of the few occasions when the public is actually being asked about planning rather than just planning officers, and I think it's a point at which the public should take that opportunity wholeheartedly.
I think what the Chair of Planning is saying to you, members of the public, is we're going to be lobbying you. I suppose the other way
Well,
around.
somewhere in this parish is 300 houses.
Somewhere.
Well, can I just correct that? It's not, I mean, the notion that there's going to be 300 houses overnight, I tried to say that it is a 10-year plan. That is potentially the maximum number if the other proposed allocations do not get approved. Now, the main areas, as I've said, are Harwich and Great Hawksley along the A120 corridor. There is obviously some need to share this out, and the fact is that we are land rich in Tenwood compared to some other areas. They can't, there's no land in the conurbations in the cities. But I don't want the message to be going out from this meeting that we're going to have 300 houses planned and built, or planning applications built in the next sort of quarter. It's actually not been decided on the numbers yet. They're all very, very provisional, and they have to obviously be approved by the district council after consultation. So there will be a process of consultation on the plan, and I just think we need to be cautious about handing numbers about and saying this as a public record before it's even been decided.
Yeah, because
Could I just answer that, please? Sure. Because I am not banding on about. That is what one of the officers of Tenbury District Council sat in this very seat and told me, and a number of other people. So don't misunderstand it, it's not my number, and I would reiterate that is 300 over what we were told was 5 years.
Okay. So I'm sure we're all going to be getting more and more information as time goes on for the new planning laws that the government are bringing in and the new initiatives of housing.
But I would support the suggestion that a neighbourhood plan, whilst it would be influential, again, we can't overstate its importance because it will not stop the planning application. It's an advisory thing, only it has no statutory powers, but it is a worthwhile exercise. And again, if that progresses, there will be a referendum on whether that is adopted or not, and people will have full consultation on it. So these things are going on, and it is, it's heartening to see so many people here, and I'm sure that when something like this comes out, our community does generally react, and it's probably up to us to arrange to have some public meetings to try and.
No, I think you're right, Councillor Berry, and pure information is the best information. The information you hear in New Street or Town Street is always a bit, so pure information. Thanks very much. We need to. Oh, sorry.
No, I was just going to go on a bit.
We've got to go for it.
Basically, we should have been at consultation then. This was the month that it's coming out. So all the work that the officers have done has, hours and hours, years if you go back now, because we've been working on it again for 2 years. They've lost it all. They've got to start all over again, but still have it ready by January 2025. Because if not, the government is kicking in with a new scheme. If you've already submitted some of the work to your new plan, then they will work with you. If not, they will give you this new scheme, which could be even worse. And the figures came from Terry Dover.
There we go. Okay, we'll draw that on to a conclusion. We have a proposer. Was there a second? General second. All in favour? Thank goodness for that.
I don't think it was that easy.
The next item on the agenda, ladies and gentlemen, is one I applaud, and that is our youth councillor. Councillor Howard has been very busy talking to our youth councillor, and she would like to give you an update as well.
The only update I can give you at the moment, Jordan from Essex Youth and I are going to hold a youth council at the common school Monday. So I can let you know the outcome
Great.
of what's happening.
Great.
That's next council meeting. That's all really.
It's an initiative, members of the public, that this council would really like to engage with the youth. Coney School has been used as a springboard to try and engage more and more with the youth, to be able to bring them into the council, and hopefully have a youth council. Watch this space. Next item is item 11, which is Volunteers Week feasibility on June 2025 from the council.
Yeah, this is just an idea and a plea for help from any councillors that want to help see if this idea is a good idea or a bad idea. So it's to investigate the feasibility of a Brighton City Volunteers Festival to coincide with National Volunteers Week. That happens every year across the country on the first week in June every year. And I just think it's an opportunity for us to maybe do something quite cool around town, because we are reliant on quite a lot of voluntary groups, and I do have a worry that perhaps we haven't got a sustainable supply of volunteers coming through, and also as residents we don't all know what volunteers groups are out there that we can enjoy the services of. So yeah, so it's basically to see if any of you guys can want to get involved to help me work out, basically form a working group to assess the feasibility of the event. Essentially see if it can be done in a cost-neutral way. Kate Mitchell, Councillor Mitchell's already said that she's interested in helping, but there'll be things like liaising with groups, financial stuff, coordinating sponsorship and school sales and that kind of stuff. So if anyone's there's obviously quite a lot of work to do to work out if it can be done or not. But we have got we've got a nice long run at it. So if anyone wants to help, please put your hand up, Paul.
But before Councillor Morgan, you're signing up for it, I guess?
I certainly would support it, and I'd like to help you do that. As you know, when I was there, we did have a big community day where we brought all the fantastic volunteers that we all come across. I was amazed by it. We did have a fantastic day in the community centre, much with the support of the councillors, and that was completely cost neutral. Didn't cost us anything. So it can be done by just trying.
Great. So you've got Councillor Morgan, Councillor Steady, and Councillor Chapman, and Councillor Bentley, and myself, of course.
I think we're all in on really, without a bit that far ahead.
Certainly
there is quite a lot going on. I think that's Town of the Lido, generally Orton's. It'll be quite busy.
So,
but it could be something that could help. We could help the Lido as well, or the Lido could help this.
Yeah. And it is worthwhile. I mean, this town is volunteers, isn't it? I went to a volunteers tea party at the church last Sunday. They made me climb all the steps up to the way to the town. It was great.
And I should just say as well, I should have said at the start, so that's bad of me, and I apologise for that. But this is building off of the work that you guys have both done the last couple of years in terms of, I know you were supporting voluntary groups this weekend. You did it years last, so I should have said that at the start.
No, thanks very much. Item 12 in the agenda is down to Councillor Steady. First, quickly.
Okay, thank you. You've got the recommendation there. This is basically all about extremely trust been done for 40 years, and it has been very much run by the councillors. And for those of us who remember the sale of Springleaf House, which caused a bit of a friction within the town. So I think now is the time. We've actually done a review of the trust, and I think it is a little bit outdated. And I think the vibes I got from the current trustees, council trustees, was that they don't really want to be hands-on such on the day-to-day management. So the custodian trustee would basically be like a file safe. So if anything did happen, then obviously the assets and that would revert to the council. But we would still have management trustees to do the day-to-day running of the facility. But I know that our Gardner is here tonight, so the last 4 or 5 years he's been involved, even though the actual gardens come on quite significantly. And now is the time to push on, and we've got some, I know Julie's got some ideas but we do need more community representation, and that would be on the management trustee side.
So personally, I think it's a wonderful initiative because it modernises the trust and allows a more business-minded thing to allow the head gardener free rein. Do we need to make an adoption for this, or
Yes.
we do?
Yeah, please.
So I'm guessing you're proposing. I'm very happy to second it. Oh, yes. I'm sorry. Before we go, I do apologise.
I think it's a fantastic idea, and I support the idea, but I'm afraid I can't vote for it until I see the terms of the custodian trustee.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah.
I mean, we are the trustees of a piece of property, blah blah blah.
That's a valid point.
Yeah.
Are you happy to?
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm for it. I misunderstand, but I think we
Yeah.
need to see those clauses to make sure that we have the protections we think we need.
Yeah, come from.
Obviously, what we've done with the review, we did look into that, and obviously, if we did adopt it, then we would go to the solicitor to check to make sure that we've gone down the right avenue.
I think Councillor Corbett would like to say
It
something.
was just so I can clarify it in my head. So basically what we're saying is councillors stepping away as trustees and then the trust replacing them by recruiting new trustees,
For the management.
and then we're the backstop.
Yeah. Having said that, councillors, if they want to come forward and be a trustee, but they wouldn't be a councillor trustee, they would be the managing trustee.
Okay.
And I think when Rick and I listened to the proposal, it was a modernisation.
It's a completely rational idea that we would still control the assets as such and have that control within this council, the day-to-day management, which would be with people who are actually keen to do it and able to do it.
So I would suggest, if we can, I do apologise, guys. It's the neck that goes this way. Jane, what would you like to say? No, you've got
No, I've lost it. No, yeah, I've got to. I think it's a good move. It's very similar to the YMCA. You have a group of trustees, the everyday running of it, but you have custodian trustees. Football club's the same on the land, isn't it? It's a protection, but the only other question I was going to ask is, how does the charity commissioners feel? Because it's all registered under the charity.
When we spoke to them, I don't know if I what you said. They said, well, do your constitution, get your constitution, take it to an AGM, and then put it into the charity commissioners for ratification, if you like.
I've got to agree, the constitution must need rewriting, because I was part of that committee that rewrote it about 15 years ago, so it really does need updating. But I think that's a sensible one.
So the process, as I say at the moment, you had the AGM on the 27th of August, which you agreed to.
You can't really vote on it.
You can't really vote on it. I think the process now is that you distribute the nuts and bolts of it to councils, and it will be ratified at the next meeting. If that's okay. Thanks for Dave.
Great, it's not actually directly relevant, but I understand there's an all singing or dancing public presentation about the Spring Meet coming up in the next few weeks, in a month's time or something. To try and attract interest both from the trustees' point of view and volunteers. So watch this space.
It's going to be a perfect time.
Bring a spade.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Item 12A on the agenda is questions from the public. And just before I invite questions from the public, we never say that. Before I invite questions from the public, I'd just like to make a couple of statements first. I failed to thank representatives of the community centre. We have written a letter to them from last Saturday, thanking them for the facilities that they gave us. From our hearts, we're very thankful for what they've provided to us. And especially for the bacon rolls. I don't know how I got brown sauce, but hey ho. But thank you very much. The second statement I'd like to read to you is from some education that some councillors here have had, and other councillors are going to be having in the next few days, and that is a code of conduct training. So following our recent code of conduct training with Tenbury District Council, a big boss it was, it has been suggested that all public questions should be received in writing in advance of the council meeting. Therefore, for the October meeting, we are requesting all public questions to be received by the office by close of play on the Wednesday before the meeting, so that they can be included in the meeting. As you're aware, I value your presence here, and we'll just try to work with this, if that's okay. We will be putting that statement on the website for you. Thank you. So we're now going to go for questions from the public. The idea on this is it's not a debate, it's a question. You only have a certain amount of time, and you're not allowed to go on and on and on. Thanks very much. And feel free. I'm going to ask Councillor Steady if you can just go that way a bit and just open up the table a bit so we can all see you. You don't have to stand up and say your name, but it's sometimes good if you can. Who's first?
Well, I can. I've seen you before. You don't improve with age, not like mine. No, sorry about that. I spoke to Councillor Court about the Police and Fire Commissioner. If we could get some more information, because we do pay £640 for the Essex Association of Local Government. But I'm going to hand you over to Councillor Court, because he knows a bit more about this, and he wants to bring up something that about the democratic thing about this position, because when we had the election, hardly anybody voted. And the other thing is, just the second part, maybe to Jane or somebody, are you meeting the police commander tomorrow? Yeah. Can you ask them? They're going to phase out the community support officers, aren't they? Well, we will have no link, because we still get them down here on a monthly basis, don't we? So we've got no link. So once again, the public, all they want to see is you're our community leaders, but we don't see any police at all now.
Yeah, so that's a perfect example of having the question before, and so we can have the answer. But Councillor Chapman has the answer. Councillor Corbett, should we go for the easy one first?
Yeah, I spoke to Councillor Corbett about that.
Yes, there is a meeting tomorrow. Unfortunately, I won't be there. Matt has got that questions, one of the questions. Yeah. They're not actually, they are phasing them out, but it's only as they nobody will lose their job.
No, I realise that.
It's not replacing, but that is one of the questions that Matt's got from me for tomorrow. But we have got another meeting coming up for councillors. We're just trying to finalise the date, because they sent some dates over. So
we had a good chat about PFCC, didn't we?
Yeah.
And I think we came to the conclusion that it was really quite disappointing that I didn't even really have any kind of idea as to who we were voting for, what they were standing for, and this is meant to be a democratic thing. And it's hardly any presence of the PFCC in this town or nearby towns, it seems, or any of the other candidates, and we've not seen them since. And we wonder why they had such a low turnout at the election. I think the turnout was about 13 or 14%. We sent an email, or I dropped an email over to the office of the PFCC, just basically asking how can residents put questions into them, because they don't really report into anyone. It's not like the old days when they would have reported into, I guess, county council, maybe, I don't know. But then this PFCC's been elected and they're reporting to him, and it doesn't seem there's much accountability there. So I think we need to work out how we make our representations there, and it'll be something that a question that I ask other councils at the EALC AGM, which is next week or the week after. I'm going to that as our representative on that. So hopefully we'll get our money's worth out of our membership. Although we did have a good meeting today on the coastal communities. So
and we do have this new thing now. If if we can't answer the question immediately, we'll store it and feed it back to you as soon as we
Yeah, that's fine. That's not a problem. That's just...
I think Councillor Payne.
Just to make a point that I'm attending the meeting tomorrow as well, and the meeting is at 10:30, and we were informed that the district commander, who's going, will then walk around the town meeting the public. So I've arranged for a couple of public members to be at the door of the Colne Yacht Club when she leaves it.
Well, I'm not sure about that. I'd like to be one of them, but that's not the point.
No, well, I mean, the point is that I've seen these walkabouts before, and anybody that looks a bit hassled gets pushed away, and one with a big smiling face always gets welcomed in. So just to let you know, she is going to walk around the town, and if anybody wants to make their voice heard, it's an opportunity.
Okay.
Thanks very much. Yes?
Comment on the Police and Crime Commissioner elections. The Labour candidate was in town because he was seen in Chapel Road, and then he knocked on my door, and my husband had great pleasure in standing there for 10 minutes talking to him, and he gave him another leaflet. And there was information on the candidates on the PFCC website because we had an inquiry from the public. Didn't know anything about it, so we found it and was able to give them.
But no, I won't go into that because there's not a conversation.
Thanks very much. Before we ask Mr. Stone to put his normal question, I'm just looking to see on the starboard side, Dave, any indications of questions coming from the starboard side? No, okay. Mr. Stone.
It was nice to see another successful festival, food and drink festival, which has now turned into a music festival, which proves that I can run down there without any problems. So may I suggest that next year the music festival goes down to the pond where it used to be.
I think that's a good debate. The FCA, Councillor Warren, you may wish to bring it up with your members.
Do you need a colour like that?
Yeah, well, I talk. Okay. I hope it's not about to talk.
Mr. Mayor, I'll be very brief.
Thank you very much.
Can't you get to my friend here who says, right, there's only one place with less police, right, and see that's Antarctica. I was pottering down the Hard Saturday night, and what happened? A police car come down the Hard at 8:25, and there's young people being young people. It didn't stop, and off it went. So,
well, yeah.
Second question. This is my primary question. That is the community facilities and community asset team. Do the members could declare an interest who are on that team?
Yeah. Certainly, if they have an interest in declare, certainly.
Yeah. Well, when the Dindy and Boat Park comes up for renewal in 2025, will there be an increase in parking charges? In the last 3 years, there's been a 100% increase.
Well, that will be debated by that team, and you'll be the first to know, of course, as a current stakeholder down there. I'm not certain at the moment, Councillor Morgan. I don't think we should.
I don't want to preempt the team meeting, but I haven't heard any rumours that thinking that we're thinking of putting it up.
I'm just forewarning you, Councillor.
And really, just to reiterate that we have all of us have been quite busy undergoing some quite extensive new training about how we declare interests and everything like that.
Mr. Mayor, I've got just 2 seconds. No,
you only have
the Hard, Dingy's on the Hard, it's tied up to the chain. This is traditionally, always has been, free of charge.
I beg your pardon, I didn't hear the first part.
Dingy's on the Hard.
Then you have got on here where Councillor Morgan, the chain that goes across the Hard that do park where dinghies are tied up to. There's never been no charge for this.
Okay, so I'm going to ask Councillor Morgan to chat with you afterwards about that.
Did he declare an interest?
He probably will declare an interest. I know as a boy I used to pay for my dinghy down there.
Another question. Last question.
No.
It's extremely important. It's extremely important
Public.
Something that really I didn't like. I see the cricket club are putting a non-material amendment to their original application. Doesn't mean the town council will open the toilets.
I'll plead the Fifth Amendment on that. Do we have any more questions for our worthwhile members of the public? Thank you very much. And thank you very much for being here, everybody. We're now going to go to the town clerk's report, which this month is quite extensive. We've been busy, Tracy.
We've got one item fire now.
Oh, yes, sorry.
And the Cone Yacht Club wish to hold the annual fireworks display on the town park on Sunday the 3rd of November.
Oh,
I don't know, I haven't been on the course, but I have to declare an interest.
as do I. We might have to all leave the room as well. Technically, good. Any members of the Cone Yacht Club, declare an interest, please, and leave the room. And then you can take over the wobbly. This is the new. This is a new.
This is new, is it? The Cone Yacht Club fireworks display on the park on Sunday the 3rd of November as usual.
So, yeah, I guess we just vote on it.
I propose we accept it.
All the usual conditions, yeah.
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 All agree.
All agree.
Come back now.
It's been turned down.
Did we get our actual wages? Right, please
You
leave.
because you weren't at the meeting.
You should have been here twice then.
Okay, are we done on that one? Valued members of the public, I'm afraid you've got a meeting now where we discuss Part B, property on market. Thank you very much for coming today and see you all in October.
Yeah.